helping you build a better turn. My name is Dangerford, and I'd like to thank you again for checking out yet another spoiler recap video. This is for week 2. Just like last time, I will be posting links in the description down below so that you can follow this to the original sources. I like to make sure that everyone is credited appropriately, and we're just going to get right into it. So the first spoiler was revealed by the UK Versus System YouTube channel, Our Brothers Across the Sea, and this was done last Saturday, and they introduced the main character, Baron Mordo. That's right, this guy looks pretty interesting, so let's go over his level 1. He is a ranged 2/4 with 5 health. Nothing really to call home about there, but he has Hex. If you folks don't remember, Hex is the keyword that Scarlet Witch has, which states that while this character is in play, your opponent's main character cannot level up. His level 1 ability is Mesmerize, so during the main phase, pay a blue and choose a player to discard a random card. You may use this power any number of times on your turn. So just like the main character Doctor Strange, you can just keep using this as long as you have any blues or wilds in your deck. His level up condition is the Black Arts. He needs 4 experience in order to level up. Whenever an enemy player discards 1 or more cards, Mordo gains an XP. So his level 1 ability ties right into his experience. And just to clarify, the UK team brought this up, that any sort of discard will trigger Baron Mordo's experience. So that's power-ups, that's paying for a location, and that's forcing your opponent to discard that card. So characters like Emma Frost could do it as well. So once Baron Mordo levels up, he becomes a 5/7, and his new ability is Hypnotize. Main phase, pay a yellow, choose an enemy main character, it becomes level 1 until the start of your next turn. That's incredibly powerful. That means that your opponent's level 2 main character gets dropped down to their original stats, which could really be debilitating. I really like this card. It has some really interesting flavor to it. I like the flavor that Baron Mordo, as an enemy of Doctor Strange, has the exact opposite level 1 ability that Doctor Strange does. It's really thematic. Baron Mordo is a really interesting card, and I can see people coming up with pretty nasty decks. I enjoy milling my opponent or drawing my own cards, so both Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo are definitely on my list to check out and see what I can make with them. So hopefully this card becomes part of the meta, because I think it's a shift in some of the mechanics that we've seen among some of the characters that are a little bit more top tier. Next up, also revealed on Saturday, this was posted on the Facebook Collective by Colby Garish with an article made by David Leader, both prominent figures in the community. I believe Colby won the Gen Con for 2016 and David Leader won the Gen Con for 2015. We also have an interview with David Leader, which you can also check out in my other video series, where I've been taking the audio from Mr. Ben's Build Phase podcast and presenting them as a video on my channel. So check that out if you're interested. So Leader is a 2-drop underworld supporting character. He has range, 2/4, and 1 health. Leadership is a new keyword that we've seen, which is a pretty interesting idea. Leader has leader, and all other characters lose and can't gain leader. I wonder how many times I can say leader while I talk about leader. Massive Brain. During the main phase, you can pay a yellow and choose any enemy character and draw cards until you have as many cards in hand as that player. That's a really cool ability. I just mentioned how much I enjoy milling my deck, and this card could work wonders with some certain characters, like the main character Rocket, or Newborn is the one that everyone's been talking about really, where you can immediately discard your entire hand and level up Newborn on level 2, and as long as you have leader and a yellow, you can draw back up to, by that time it would be 9 cards that your opponent would have, maybe less, so about 8. Either way, you'd be drawing back up a full hand of cards, which is just really awesome. I can see leader becoming an interesting card that can be played late game if your opponent is using characters like Loki to manipulate their deck and start milling their side. Well, go ahead and do it. Leader will match you toe to toe. So really interesting card. Next up on Monday, the daily meta game revealed 2 cards. First one is Lilith. She is a 4-drop femme fatale with flight, 4/6, and 1 health. I honestly had to look this character up. She is supposedly the daughter of Dracula. So with that in mind, her ability is Vampirism. When Lilith KOs an enemy character and survives, remove that character from the game. Lilith has 1+ health for each character removed this way. which means that Lilith can get incredibly big on her health if you allow her to. I can see if this is a card that becomes pretty prevalent in the game, that characters like Lethal, like Gamora or Punisher, will become much more prevalent to counter characters like this, who can honestly have an infinite number of health as long as she continues to KO an enemy character. She works really well with Satana, not necessarily her second ability, because Lilith is removing the character she KOs from the game, but Satana, her keyword and innate ability is that all femme fatale characters have lethal, which means that Lilith could team attack with somebody and KO that character and immediately get the health off of that character. The other card that was revealed is Hela. I'd like to say Hela because she's hella interesting. Another femme fatale. This one's a 5-drop with range and is 5/5 with 2 health. Touch of Death. During the main phase, pay green, and then if all enemy characters are stunned, put 5+1/+1 counters on Hela. That's hella awesome. A lot of people have been mentioning that this could work really well with a Deadpool deck, as Deadpool gains experience when all characters on the other side are stunned, but Deadpool's alternate win condition usually wants to trigger by about turn 4, and if he's not triggering by that time, then it's kind of not going in Deadpool's favor. But Hela becomes the late game finisher with Daredevil. If he is having trouble, this card could really pull him out of the weeds and bring him the victory that he is looking for. On Tuesday, the Team Attack crew revealed Squirrel Girl. I am excited for Squirrel Girl. I think she is awesome. She is a 2-cost A-Force character with 3/3 and 2 health. Let's get nuts. When Supergirl appears, you may put a Monkey Joe token on your side when Am I saying Supergirl? That's funny. I got some DC on the mind. I think I'm gonna leave that in. Yeah, that's staying in there. When Squirrel Girl appears, you may put a Monkey Joe token onto your side. When Squirrel Girl recovers, you may put a Tippy Toe token on your side. I really like Squirrel Girl, especially in my Singularity Mono Team deck that I've been making, because she immediately brings out yet another card. Both of them get inspired, which means that they both get +1/+1 counters on them. She works really well to help Singularity get her experience level so that she can level up, which is to have 5 characters with the same team affiliation on your side. So along with Squirrel Girl, let's take a look at her tokens. First off, Monkey Joe. Monkey Joe comes out when Squirrel Girl comes out because it's an appear effect, and he is a 0 A-Force character token with 0, 1, and 1 health, and it has Cover Squirrel when Squirrel Girl has +2 defense while she's on your side. Squirrel Interrupted. I like the pun. When Squirrel Girl is on your side and leaves play, KO Monkey Joe. So he leaves play. Let's say if you have Singularity supporting character out, if you phase Squirrel Girl out, Monkey Joe gets KO'd. But when she appears, Monkey Joe comes back. The other token is Tippy Toe, also a 0 cost with 0, 1, and 1 health. While Squirrel Girl is on your side, she gets +2 attack. And then Tippy Toe has the same thing Monkey Joe has, which is Squirrel Interrupted when Squirrel Girl is on your side and leaves play, KO Tippy Toe. So yeah, really interesting. It means that Squirrel Girl immediately becomes a 3/5 when she's on your side when she appears because of Monkey Joe. She takes that stun and recovers. Immediately Tippy Toe comes out and now she's a 5/5. That's pretty awesome, especially when you're playing her on turn 2. So that means that potentially on turn 3 you have a 5/5 coming out onto your board. Very interesting. Next up we have Agent Peggy Carter. She was revealed by us. That's right, team build phase all the way. Mr. Ben posted this onto our forum, and it is a 2-drop Avengers character with ranged 3/2 and 1 health. Honorary Avenger is her keyword, and its text reads, "You pay 1 less to recruit Avengers characters." This is amazing. If you'd like, you can check out the podcast and the video version of Team Build Phase giving their impressions on this card. Now, one thing that was mentioned on the forums, as part of our article, we asked another user, Adam Logan, to give us his impressions on Agent Peggy Carter, and he came up with a devastating combo. It takes a lot of parts in order for it to work, but if you can get it to work, it could mean that you have an end game combo that just completely completely debilitates your opponent. The way the combo works is you have to have 2 copies of Black Widow, you have to have Agent Peggy Carter, you have to have Valkyrie, and you have to have a yellow. And basically how it works is if Agent Carter and Valkyrie are out on the board, you pay the yellow and you use the ability that Agent Peggy Carter gives you to bring out Black Widow for free. And if you guys don't remember what Black Widow's ability is, she gets to put a -1/-1 counter on an enemy character, which means that you could do that to the entire board. If you thought that the Iceman Valkyrie combo was a little bit cheap, then you're in for a treat here, because that is just absolutely amazing. It means that nobody is going to be on your board except for characters like Titania, who has the ability to not become stunned out of any sort of non-combat effects. So barring Titania though, everybody's gonna stun. And then eventually, if you continue to have those yellows, Black Widow's going to take out your main character as well. Next up, on Thursday, the UK versus YouTube channel revealed Nightmare. He is an underworld character, has flight, and is a 7-drop, and has 7/7 and 1 health. Waking Nightmare, enemy characters can have and gain -1/-1 counters while stunned. This is really interesting. I think the ability comes a little too late in the form of a 7-drop, but there are plenty of ways to ramp up your deck or use the Pixelarity combo to bring Nightmare out earlier. And if so, this character, as long as you can keep him unstunned and on the board, will just wreck your opponent's side in the same way that Black Widow, Peggy Carter, Valkyrie combo also would wreck your side of the board. Because if Nightmare is still in play when your enemy's characters recover, it means that they immediately get stunned again because of the -1/-1 counters that they've kept while they were stunned. That can be incredibly debilitating. If you want to make that Peggy Carter, Black Widow, Valkyrie combo even harder on yourself, then you can add Nightmare to the mix and guarantee that basically after that happens, you've won the game. It's over. There's nothing that your opponent can do about it, and they're just going to continually take -1/-1 counters from Black Widow, and then you're just going to keep him on there with Nightmare. So, yep, a lot of moving parts, but totally worth it if you can pull it off, right? Again, it's going to take a lot in order for this card to work, and that might not be a very reliable way of going about it without having some sort of combo deck where you kind of cheat your way into it. Mainly, like the Pixelarity is the big one that I can see, but other people make you ramp up as well. If you get Mantis out there, if you have Star-Lord as your main character, if you're using Dark Phoenix's level 1 ability, then you can ramp up so that Nightmare comes out earlier. There's plenty of ways to do it, so. But either way, a very interesting card nonetheless. On Friday, Upper Deck revealed a couple new characters as well. First up, we have Shadowcat. She is a 1-drop X-Men supporting character, has 1/3 for stats and 1 health. Intangible Escape is her ability. Any turn combat, pay a blue. If an attacker or defender is on your side, put Shadowcat next to it and cancel the combat. Use this power only while Shadowcat is in your hand. That is really awesome. It's almost like if you took the plot twists Think Again and Dramatic Entrance and combined them together. Not only that, but you get a free character onto your board. So an interesting way to look at this is that Hope also gains this character's ability, which means that you could bring out Hope for free as well later on in the game. So the one combo that really comes to mind for me is you pay 1 point on turn 1 to bring Iceman out. You freeze something on their side. Then the next time somebody tries to attack Iceman, you bring out Shadowcat, and you have used the Think Again cancel mechanic to cancel the combat, and characters survive, and most likely nobody else is going to be attacking because the other character is frozen from Iceman's ability. And then later on, you can use Hope Summers to again bring out the character using Shadowcat's ability, and if Iceman is still out, you've frozen yet another character. That's really awesome. Mr. Ben also points out in one of his podcast episodes that the abilities that are written in the text boxes are always online. That's a really interesting notion to consider. It means that no matter where they are in your KO pile, in your hand, in your deck, on the playing field, all of that text is still considered online. Granted, we still have rules that affect how the cards interact with each other, It's important to know these facts, particularly for Hope Summers. The other card that was revealed is yet another card that is going straight into my Singularity Mono Team deck. It is Spider-Gwen, and she is a 4-drop A-Force character with 4/7 stats and a 1 health. She has dodge, which means that Spider-Gwen can't be ranged attacked, and then Dimensional Wristwatch. You may recruit Spider-Gwen from your deck. Search your deck for her, shuffle your deck, then recruit her. That means that no matter what, you will always have a 4-drop on turn 4 coming out. Or if you miss a drop, then lo and behold, you can go and search for Spider-Gwen. I really like this card, especially in a mono A-Force deck for my Singularity build, because it means that it guarantees a mid-game character for me. If I don't have, say, She-Hulk, I can also carry 4 copies of her and I can collect her, and when Loki comes out on turn 6, then I have a bunch of Spider-Gwen characters in my hand that I could use to power up to trigger Loki's ability to draw 3 cards. She is going to be a very interesting card moving forward. I think that this is one of those cards that a lot of people will put just one of in their decks so that they can guarantee something on turn 4 or something to come out when their drops aren't going on curve, and it'll be a really interesting card to see. Next up on Saturday, we have a spoiler reveal by Daily Metagame and Ian Vincent, and it is an amazing card. We have an 8-drop Doop. It's an X-Men character with flight. He is a 14/1 with durable. If folks don't remember what durable is, it's just like the Titania card that I mentioned before. Doop cannot be stunned outside of non-combat effects. Ultimate weapon, when you play a plot twist while Doop is in combat, heal a wound from him. I highly recommend that you go over to Daily Metagame and read Ian's article and translate the Doop talk in the flavor text underneath his ability. If you don't, then, it's your fault. Totally your fault. That's all I'm gonna say. So anyways, that's where we'll end it. Thanks again for watching. This has been the Week 2 spoiler recap here at the BuildFace channel. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them down below in the comments section. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We would really appreciate that. If you'd like to continue the discussion, you can go over to the buildface.com, where we are always talking on the forums about this and that. You can reach us at contactus@thebuildface.com. So thanks again for watching, and my name is Danger Ford. Have a good day.